When we think of the Renaissance, we often think of great men like Da Vinci and Machiavelli, great politicians and great artists. Caterina Sforza was as influential as these men. In 2011, Elizabeth Lev called her the ideal guide to the Renaissance in the novel Tigress of Forli. Caterina Sforza was an alchemist, she was a muse, she was a warrior, and she was a mother. Despite how influential she was during her time, she's often swept under the rug of history. Caterina Sforza was born in Milan in 1463, the illegitimate daughter of the tyrannical Duke of Milan. She was born into wealth and power, and through her marriages became the Countess of Imola and Forli, which were strategic strongholds in the jigsaw of the Papal States. According to Brie Michel in her 2023 article entitled "The Woman Who Defied the Pope," published in the Medium, Caterina Sforza lived dual roles throughout her life. She embodied the domestic roles expected of her, such as caring for servants and children, and also took on the roles of statesmanship following her husband's death. Though her predominant role was as a politician, Caterina Sforza was also very interested in alchemy. Julia Martins wrote in her article Caterina Sforza, The Alchemy and Power of a Renaissance Icon, that Caterina Sforza wrote over 450 alchemical recipes throughout her life. She wrote them in a black leather-bound book called The Experimenti, which was passed through the generations of her family and still exists to this day. The recipes ranged from cosmetics to the alchemical elixir of life. She may also have inspired Botticelli. There is a striking resemblance between a figure often represented in Botticelli's work and a known portrait of Caterina Sforza. This is the known portrait of Caterina Sforza. Nigel Goodman proposed this theory in his 2022 novel Botticelli and Caterina, and in a summarized article of his work published in The Oldie. Goodman proposes that Caterina is the central figure in works such as Primavera and The Birth of Venus, as well as Minerva and the Centaur. Minerva and the Centaur is his most compelling piece of evidence, as the knotted figures on the figure's dress, are the Sforza family crest. Despite her contributions to the arts and to sciences, Caterina is most known for her most controversial moment in life. Alexander Sixtus was the pope during Caterina's lifetime, and they were often at odds. In order to remove Caterina Sforza from power, he proposed a marriage between his daughter and her eldest son. Caterina refused this marriage, and in December of 1499, the pope's illegitimate son sieged her castle and captured her children. He threatened to kill her children if she did not surrender her castle. Machiavelli, who was often at odds with Caterina Sforza, depicts Caterina Sforza as climbing the ramparts of Rivaldino Castle, lifting her skirts, pointing to her genitalia, and claiming that the papal army could do what they wanted with her children, as she had the means to make more. Julia Houston refutes Machiavelli's claim in her 2000 article for Renaissance Quarterly entitled Skirting the Issue. Elizabeth Levy also refutes Machiavelli's claim. Many contemporaries refute Machiavelli's claim of what was said on the ramparts that day. Despite the refutation, this is the most popular version of what Caterina said on the ramparts, and will most likely be what she is known for throughout history. Her contributions to alchemy and science are shadowed by this moment. Caterina Sforza was many things. She was a mother, she was a scientist, she was a muse, she was a warrior. She was brave, and some considered her a tyrant. She was incredibly influential in her time period, and she painted a whole picture of Renaissance ideals. She was involved in the arts, the sciences, and the military. Sforza embodies the Renaissance like no other figure, and deserves recognition alongside the great men that we remember.